What if pleasure isn't a luxury? It's a compass. Neuroscientist Dr. Stephen Porges, creator of the Polyvagal theory, teaches that our nervous system can only access creativity and connection when it feels safe. And in 2018, researchers from UC Berkeley found that people who regularly experience micro moments of joy, not big vacations, but simple daily pleasures, reported higher purpose clarity and lower stress hormones. That means the very sensations we tend to dismiss as too small to matter might actually be the signals that steer our calling. So today, we're going to explore how pleasure as permission helps you hear your calling more clearly by re educating your body to trust that joy is safe, sustainable, and sacred. So today, another day of the Confidence Coming Out course, and this is the 38th day of the 49 days, 7 weeks that I propose. I would be running through the Confidence Coming Out course. Today is the day we're going to go over the calling, which is the sixth tool of the Confidence Coming Out course. We have 7 tools to go through. The last one will be creativity. The one before this is a consistency, and the one before that was containerized. The one before that was care package. And the one before that was communication. And the first one was consciousness. So, why are we talking about calling? I think we don't really get to allow ourselves to dream of of our future until we have some space in our world. And there are many things that will hurt that. And we've talked about what will hurt that in the past other steps. But why are we talking about calling in regards to coming out or confidence? Well, when we have confidence, we can start dreaming again. And we can also not only dream, but dream in the capacity of what really feels like we're in flow and we're not having to push an agenda that either was told to us, taught to us, said that this is who we're supposed to be. And as being a confidence coming out, you're doing something that is probably feels against the grain or not what others think is okay in some, whether it be in relationships or anything, dressing differently, um, speaking the truth in a way that feels really uh, not safe. Uh, or just setting your own limits through your boundaries. So today we're going to talk about calling and how it relates to pleasure and how purpose connects to that. So before purpose can speak, the body has to believe it's safe to listen. Okay, and how do we do that? When you're in survival mode, rushing, proving, people pleasing, or maybe you don't even realize that you're in survival mode, in that you've been doing it for so long, pressing down all of those feelings, that you're just in a mode of being that was taught to you. The nervous system routes energy toward defense and not toward the true direction of the heart. But when you feel pleasure, a deep breath, a stretch, the warmth of sunlight, your body releases nitric oxide and oxytocin, which open your awareness and sharpen your intuition, your capacity to even know something for yourself. And that's really the underlying sweet spot of confidence. Pleasure isn't the end goal, it's the green light that tells your system you can trust this path. So, we're going to do a 60-second sensory practice around yes. Let's try a 1 minute reset. You can do anywhere, eyes open or closed. I want you to touch slowly with one finger your forearm. and trace your forearm with one finger. Name what you feel. So you might notice that your finger's cold on your forearm and your forearm is warm. The texture, you might notice, oh, my fingertip actually is dry, but my forearm is really silky. The pressure, it's very light. I can press a little more boldly. So using words and really paying attention to the feeling and the sensation. Then we're going to go to sight. Look around and choose one color that feels alive in you when you're looking. Well, I notice this light over here and I'm feeling that warmth. And when I look at it, I feel that glow. Let your eyes rest there and breathe it in. And then you want to notice a sound. Listen for the furthest sound you can hear. Maybe it's birds, a hum, or your own breath. Of course, I have earbuds in, but I notice like this noise, this ether noise. It almost sounds a little bit like the highway, but then like a beach at the same time because it's consistent. Now whisper to yourself, these things count. They matter because they do. Getting back into the body and not disassociating, which I think is what we do more often than we realize, makes us disconnected from our true selves. And that's our calling. Pleasure doesn't have to be grand to be grounding. It's your body saying, I'm here, I'm safe, keep going. I remember I was teaching a meditation class, and one of my students asked me, hey, I have somebody who gets really stressed out and ruminates, and one thing that they should do, a practice that they should do. And I pretty much told them this. I told them, pay attention, have them pay attention to their senses, get back into the body. And it can be very literal, right? And the literal may be the better because then you're concentrating on one thing and you're noticing, oh, I'm here right now. And that's all that matters right now. So pull out your care package by adding 3 reliable sensory pleasures you can access anywhere. For instance, every day, maybe allow yourself to do this practice. Go outside and smell something different, touch something, and really feel those feelings. Listen to some music that's a little unusual for you, but pleasurable, and not as a reward for work done, but for fuel and connection to self. It makes authentic work even possible. When your body feels resourced, your calling can expand or just even appear for you. Let's decode the belief that keeps many of us from pleasure in the first place. The belief might be, if I enjoy this, I'm somehow selfish. I can't spend time doing pretty much what seems like nothing because I have to be resourceful to somebody or something else. Yet when I breathe into it, my shoulders drop and my heart rate slows. And as we've known, when you calm down, you can see things. I remember I was working at a frame shop right after college. I was framing artwork. And I had a boss who uh, I learned to really respect and appreciate. And he was never in the frame shop, but every time I got flustered when a customer would come in trying to find their artwork, and they were supposed to be alphabetized by last name, but a lot of the time they were like either shoved in the back or put somewhere else. And there was one day I just could not find this person's piece. And I was all anxious and my heartbeat was up. I was kind of turning red and sweating, and I felt like guilty for something that wasn't even my problem. And I went to my boss, the outside manager, and he came in all calm as a cucumber, found it within a second. But that's the reality, right? When you lose something, you're all stressed out about losing something. And then when all of a sudden someone comes in who really has no, it doesn't matter to them if they find it or don't. Or when you have just given up, all of a sudden you find it. And it's so similar to this. So your body, once it calms down, you realize it's so important. What calms you down? Oh, it's pleasure, really, or the feeling of letting go of outcome expectation. And so schedule 2-minute pleasure pockets before big projects or things that seem scary or emotional conversations. Like, give yourself a gift for even being here. Remind yourself what a gift it is to be here. Because resourced people serve better. Really, that's what it is. You're resourced. You have found the resources within. You're not desperate anymore. And so, for instance, in that particular scenario with the frame shop issue, I learned from that situation that what would ground me. And I realized that it was to be informed in a certain way and to inform others. That helped ground me in that scenario. And also to remind myself that I'm not at fault for the disorganization as it was in the frame shop in the moment. And so what I did was I created a system that would help ground me. And it was about informing others. And also I had this book that where all of the people in the frame shop would start to give compliments to each other. So what it might look like is a system that creates resource for you, right? So it's not just in that moment or before that moment, because sometimes that moment comes as a surprise, but it's more as a ingrained culture that you've created for yourself in your life. That the ingrained culture is I'm continuously trying to find and build that resource and resource what I have already to bring myself back to the moment and calm my nervous system whenever possible. Because I may get surprised, something might trigger me, and I will learn from that. And I will build that learning into my life. And that's what this is about. So that shift from guilt to groundedness teaches your nervous system that joy and generosity can coexist. Every time you let pleasure feel safe, you're reprogramming your subconscious to equate receiving with readiness. I'm going to just say that again. Every time you let pleasure feel safe around you and in your body and be acknowledged, you are reprogramming your subconscious to equate receiving with readiness. That I can receive pleasure, and that will actually create a foundation underneath my feet to be ready for what's coming. Neuroplasticity happens through repetition with emotion. So these tiny pleasure practices done often are not indulgence, they're integration. Confidence grows when your body believes that good things are sustainable. Your calling thrives when your nervous system recognizes joy as safe. Tomorrow, we'll go deeper into how your body leads the way, even when your mind hesitates. You'll learn how to interpret physical sensations as intuitive direction, how to distinguish anxiety from alignment, and how to let your body's wisdom guide your next brave yes. Because if pleasure opens the door to your calling, the body is the compass that keeps you on course. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow.